The first of 18 defendants in the Arizona fake electors case appeared in court today, pleading not guilty.
The lawyer who was the architect of a plan to subvert the 2020 election and return Donald Trump to the White House today denied all charges. 12 News journalist Bram Resnick was there.
And he is joining us now with how all things played out today. And Bram, also, what is next?
Hey, Caribe, this criminal case is moving forward 3.5 years after an alleged attempt by Donald Trump's allies to throw out the presidential votes of 1.7 million Arizonans. Today was a dress rehearsal before a dozen or so defendants appear in court next week. John Eastman was defiant.
I had zero communications with the electors in Arizona, zero involvement in any of the election litigation in Arizona or legislative hearings.
The former Donald Trump lawyer entered a not guilty plea to 9 felony charges of forgery, fraud, and conspiracy.
I'm confident that with the laws faithfully applied, I will be fully exonerated at the end of this process.
Eastman is a law professor whose controversial legal theory underpinned attempts to overturn Trump's presidential election defeat in 2020. The 11 Arizona Trump electors played a role by signing a phony document a month after Trump lost to Joe Biden. It claimed they were the state's legitimate electors. The goal was to have Vice President Mike Pence sorted out when he counted the electoral votes for the 2 presidential candidates.
John Eastman called you some days later on June 4th, 2021.
Eastman's influence went beyond a legal theory. Arizona's Republican House Speaker, Rusty Bowers, told the House January 6th committee 2 years ago that Eastman urged him to take a vote to decertify Arizona's Biden electors.
I said, again, I took an oath. For me to take that, to do what you do, would be counter to my oath.
Eastman's trial date was set for October 10th. His attorney said that will likely be pushed back. And next Tuesday, several of the Trump Arizona electors will enter not guilty pleas, including former Arizona Republican Party Chair Kelly Ward. Meantime, as of an hour ago, former Trump lawyer Rudy Giuliani, who is charged in this case, still had not been served with a summons to appear in court to respond to the felony charges against him. Mark Caribe?
Well, he's been on Twitter raging.
He knows he's been indicted.
Yeah. What about Eastman? He says he had no contact at all. I would imagine that the case will not be that difficult to prove if there's a paper trail.
I can't speak to difficulty, but yes, there is a voluminous paper trail for all of this, for many of the people who have been charged, especially a man named Ken Chesborough, who is an unindicted co-conspirator, who was at the center of all this, kind of the hub, the email hub, if you will, for all kinds of communications about how this was all going down. He was in contact with all kinds of people. It's unclear how much contact Eastman had with these folks, however. He made that point today. We don't know yet whether email, other documents, text messages, etc., bear that out.
Okay, so we know Giuliani's on Twitter, but is there a physical location that they've been able to track him to?
Well, first I went looking for him in New York, where he lives, and then he showed up on X doing these live broadcasts, and he tells folks, hey, I'm in Florida now because he got bumped off a gig on WABC. So while the investigators were looking for him in New York, now they've turned their attention to Florida. And if they don't find him, I'm told, by the end of this week, well, maybe by today, they're going to get together next week and figure out something different, and that could include issuing an arrest warrant.
Wow.
Not out of the question. It's a very aggressive move, but they've been trying for 3 weeks.
Catch me if you can, huh?
He knows he's indicted, and looks like he's avoiding it.
Wow. Okay.
All right, Bram. Thanks. We'll have continuing coverage of this case online at 12news.com and the free 12 News app.